It's time for another movie review and another anniversary family film. I pick James and the Giant Peach. It turned 3 years old. Like Spy Kids, this is another film I haven't talked about on the channel before. And no, I didn't review it since then. And hey, I needed something after I did different family films in the past weeks, going from Spy Kids to Minecraft movie and now to this. But yeah, let's get to my review of James and the Giant Peach. Now, the beginning is pretty out of nowhere explanation. James lost his parents from a rhinoceros. I'll talk about that later. So now James is in the care of his two cruel aunts who abuse him to do their work. One day, a mysterious man appears and gives James a bag of magical tongues, but he spills the bag on the ground, in which it grows that tree which has one peach hanging and grows into, what else? A giant peach. That night, James eats the peach and heads inside the giant peach, and then the movie goes into animation. He meets a bunch of colorful characters, and then one of them, Mr. Centipede, cuts the stem from the tree, and the peach rolls away to the Atlantic Ocean. James tells them that he wants to go to New York City, and that's where they set off. So, my introduction to this movie was, of course, the VHS previews. And yeah, I was one when this film was out, since I know the previews very well. I want to say, I remember watching it when it was on Disney Channel, similar to a Goofy movie, but I did own a VHS copy. I owned the 2000 version. My brother didn't own the original version on VHS. But yeah, I watched this movie multiple times as a kid, and yeah, it's good. Another memory is when I went into 4th grade, I read the book of the same name by Roald Dahl, in which I was dying to read the book. And I noticed a few differences. James's parents got eaten by a rhinoceros because it escaped from the London Zoo, whereas here, they use a cloud mist to indicate a rhinoceros, and it would appear in the last third of the movie. Also, they said James was 4 in the beginning of the book, but in the movie, he looks 8 years old to me. Instead of magical crocodile tongues, it was magical crystals. There was one character that was in the book, but didn't make it in the movie, was Silkworm. James's aunt both died. No, I'm not even kidding. In the book, Aunt Spiker and Aunt Sponge got crushed by the peach and just died. But in the movie, they decided, no, that's too dark. Let's make them both alive. And it makes sense. I like the details in the book. The giant peach rolls into some minor destruction, including crashing through a chocolate factory, which later foreshadowed Roald Dahl's next book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Nice touch there. They come across a cloud man in the book, but in the movie, it's the rhino, like I mentioned. But yeah, I like the book, despite some changes. Now let's get back to the film. I think it was smart to use the live action stuff first, and then go into stop motion animation. And the director of this film is Henry Selick, which he did work on The Nightmare Before Christmas 3 years before. And yeah, he actually did very good. I even like the Easter egg of putting Jack Skellington as a captain pirate. That's pretty cool. But I did like it mixes live action animation. Nothing new, but on a whole new level. And the animation is very good overall. It's pretty creative and the designs on them are kind of fun. I remember liking those more than the live action stuff. The live action can be a little over the top at times, especially the ants. And I have to admit, this line gave me a chuckle.
Whack, 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 whack!
Sometimes the cheesy sets have that strange charm to them. But yeah, everything looks creative. I admire the characters, mainly James's creature friends, Mr. Centipede, Mr. Grasshopper, Mrs. Ladybug, Miss Spider, Earthworm, and Glowworm. Glowworm doesn't really do much, but at least she can turn on the light. And funnily enough, the voice of Glowworm is Miriam Margolyes, who did play Aunt Sponge. I think Mr. Centipede is probably my favorite character. He and the rivalry with Miss Spider was a great one. And towards that scene when Mr. Centipede gets captured by pirates and the two formed a friendship, that was a nice touch. Speaking of Miss Spider, I like that James saved Miss Spider where he found from a window. The ants try to kill the spider, but James saved it. I like that. Now, I can talk about the humans. Well, mainly James and her aunts. I barely had anything to say about the mysterious man or the police officer. The ants, like I said, were pretty over the top. As for James, I mean, he's fine. He works well with the animation, but as for the live action portrayal, he acts okay. Speaking of that, there are some problems with the film, and it won't be a long one. It can be clumsy at times. Sometimes some stuff doesn't add up, some scenes go nowhere. I heard that the book raises more questions than does simplify. I'm very split on the songs. There's 2 songs I liked. That's The Life and We're Family, which I like those. But My Name is James, Eating the Peach song, and Good News, I find them a little forgettable. The songs was composed by Randy Newman. Yeah, who would have guessed it? Don't get me wrong, the songs in Toy Story work so much in that film compared to this film. But yeah, that's about it for that stuff. But yeah, when it came out, it did get good reviews, but it wasn't as high as The Nightmare Before Christmas. It did get shafted over time with the movie came out on Blu-ray 16 years, but at least it's on Disney+. And I gotta say, it's one of the more underrated family films of my generation. It's not one of the films that was my favorite during my childhood, but it's still a fun one. That is all for my review of James and the Giant Peach. Going to take a break of film reviews and work on a couple videos that deserve some attention. I will see you all in the next one.